Welcome to Mondays with Coach Rice. It's a brand new week, the sun's shining bright. A chance to cast your net, step into the light. Life's full of challenges, it's a winding stream. But with Coach Rice, you'll find your dream.
Well, happy Monday and welcome to Casting the Net, where we care about your mental health and well-being. I'm Coach Rice, your host. And with me today, I have Enoch Leffingwell. He is a business coach, entrepreneur, and I would love for us to sit back and just get to know him and, basically what he does and how he does it. We're going to take a deep dive in. So tell us where you're from and how did you embark upon your journey as a coach?
Yeah, so I grew up in Southern Oregon on the outskirts of Medford, around lots of farm animals, and I had a heart attack when I was 12 years old. And it was because that heart attack led me to the hospital where I found out I was high cholesterol, high blood pressure, borderline diabetic. And I already knew I was morbidly obese. I was the second fattest kid of an elementary school of about 1,000 students. And it's because one man with a health message learned how to package his health knowledge into a program and a book. And he sold that to my mother that I didn't become a childhood statistic, and I'm alive to tell the story today.
Wow.
And that's why today, that gave me the opportunity where I lost 50 pounds in 3 months, never put it back on, and I started taking an interest in health and become fascinated with it. I've been fascinated with digital marketing since I was 12. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 10. But when I was 17, that's really when my speaking career started to take off, because people heard my health story. They wanted to know more about how they could do similar things. So I started giving cooking classes, health lectures, seminars across the nation. And for the last 12, 13 years now, I turned 30 last month in June, I've been a professional speaker sharing on a lot of health and marketing principles. But I got started in health and wellness. For the first 5 years, I was speaking and traveling, and it took me internationally. It was fun, but about 5 years into it, 2018, we started a company, health education company that grew to multiple six figures and helped me to make $10,000 a month in my early 20s. And then just from that success, people started asking, how do I grow a health and wellness company? How do I monetize my health knowledge? What are you doing to be able to have this freedom where you can travel, you can build a team, you can do these things that you do? And so that kind of turned into the coaching, the business coaching that I do today. I realize a lot of holistic health educators and coaches in general, where they get great certifications on the coaching side, but they get little to no training as far as the marketing side of actually effective business building principles, especially in the realm of public speaking.
That is so true, because you definitely get the coaching degree, but the marketing section is like one page. It's
Right.
take this step, take this step. Yeah.
If it's there at all.
It's really two sides of the brain that you use, right? You use the one, one side you can't be a coach and a marketing person at the same time, right? That's what I've heard from different people. But because you use two different sides of your brain to do it. Is that correct?
As far as coaching and marketing, I think that I think a lot of marketing can be creative, and coaching, there's a lot of science to it. I think that we can engage both sides of the brains, both in the coaching. There's frameworks, science, but there's also the creativity and the human elements of the relationships. And I believe marketing has a lot of that too. In fact, I found that was one of the things that as I was teaching and doing health lectures, I realized that my message would die on my lips if I didn't figure out the marketing, if I didn't learn how to get, we all say marketing and we use the same vocabulary, but we don't always have the same dictionary. When I say marketing, I mean getting your message to the masses. So that is, how do we get it to the people we're called to serve? And I believe that every coach has a desire and really a responsibility to be able to share with others and get our message to the people that we're uniquely equipped to serve.
Wow. So I just 12 years old having a heart attack. That is unreal. But I'm so glad that you're here to talk about it. And
Yeah,
and so
thank you.
so you help others open up holistic wellness platforms or businesses, correct?
Yeah, like I work with a lot of naturopathic doctors, holistic health coaches, or speakers. Right now, I'm working with Dr. Kendra Lee. She's been in our program before. She was really struggling to keep her doors open. She bought a lifestyle, she was paying for a lifestyle center, has overhead. She had clients in the past, but she just didn't really know how to get more people in the doors. And
Okay.
she's a naturopathic doctor. She's got a PhD in another area too. But she was just like, if I don't figure this marketing stuff out, I'm gonna have to close my doors. And we didn't want that to happen. So we helped her to craft a signature speech, get really clear on a crafting an irresistible offer for like premium health mentorship program. And she started selling those. We doubled her prices, and she started selling much more of those and went international. And right now, we're helping her to package her knowledge into a book. So she just finished her book, and now she's going to bestseller. And that's a lot of the stuff that we do is a lot of crafting premium mentorship programs, and then a signature speech that doesn't just raise your prices, but allows you to communicate the value in a way that people actually want to pay you.
It's interesting that I wouldn't think that a naturopathic doctor would have a hard time getting clients, which is interesting. But you find that great coaches out here that struggle with getting clients. And it's all about the offer, right?
Yeah, the
In the
offer
way
is
you in
huge.
the way that you market yourself. Is that what it is?
That's a big part of it. A lot of people, um, not only that, a lot of coaching certifications, like you mentioned, they might give you one page, if anything at all,
Right.
about marketing. And marketing, I mean, there's two sides of the coin. And when you're building a business, on one side of the coin, you have your message, your mission, just the passion to change lives. And on the other side of the coin, you have the marketing, the money, the monetization models. And I like how Brendan Burchard says it. If you don't make the money, you can't sustain your message. I mean,
Right.
I've had a naturopathic doctor who's been to China, established has entire like institutions named after her. And she came to me and she's like, I don't have a model for pricing the knowledge. And so she's just like packaging your knowledge into programs like books, courses, coaching, events, speeches that events will actually pay you for. Like a lot of those, that's not taught in certification programs. A lot of
No,
times they're the models of how to heal disease and how like disease is cause prevention cure or the mind or relationships or but when it comes to packaging that knowledge and getting it in front of the people in like what's working now, there's not a lot out there.
that's true. That is so that's where you come in at.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, just recently I was speaking at a this school that trains naturopathic doctors, and when
Mhm.
I shared about like I'm a certified health coach, now what do I do? And as I shared with them about some of these marketing principles and publishing a best-selling book, they grabbed a copy of my book. In fact, like I wrote a book, the book on high-ticket health coaching, and it talks about the
Okay.
secrets of making big money with a small audience online. And when I spoke to the director of the school, she's like, I'm going to get your book. I'm going to make this a required reading for all of my PhD students. That's our
Oh,
most
okay.
popular program. Yeah, and I was like, that sounds good. I'm willing to take it a step further. If you'd like, I could do a video series. I could be a companion guide with the book, and I could teach marketing inside your course for your students. And she's like, that would be amazing because we don't have time to do the marketing stuff. We teach on health. And quite frankly, they're like, we don't do marketing. We have word of mouth. So a lot of these health certification programs or education schools, they don't actually have the marketing concepts or knowledge. So we partner together with a lot of these institutions that will provide the marketing that it increases the value of their training because now they're not only certifying PhDs or new coaches, but they're actually equipping them with the business models that can help them to get their message out and sustain their message financially.
Absolutely. So, your ideal client, is it just health and wellness coaches, or is it broader than that?
I would say my ideal client is holistic
Yes,
health professionals.
got
Um,
it.
Now, are there people that I work with that are outside of that scope? Yeah, I mean, I like the word target audience because you have the bullseye. Bullseye would be holistic health professionals. But I mean, there's people in our programs that I've told them up front, I'm like, hey, everything that I teach, the examples are like health transformations and health marketing, but the principles of marketing apply no matter what business model you're doing, especially if you're
Okay.
monetizing your knowledge. So we have people who has a micro school, and she's learned how to create a profitable program. We have a lady who she's a vocal coach, so she teaches people the sounds of your voice, and
Hmm.
so she's joined our program. And anyone who can learn from principles, because that's everything I teach is based on biblical principles. And if you could take the principles of marketing and apply it to your business, then yeah, I mean, I'm not going to turn you away as long as you know that as I'm speaking, I'm speaking to health educators in some form or fashion.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Health educators. So you connected to quite a bit of health educators. And so what do you find the most, other than them getting the voice out? So, and or other than the monetizing, do you find that it's complications in monetization when it comes to health professionals? And what are those complications?
I think one of the biggest complications that people make is when they're getting started, they try to be, well, one, they don't have a signature speech. Like they're always creating new content for their clients, or they're going to cater their event, like their message to an event, and it's hard for them to get booked consistently because they're not really known for a signature stories. And when I say a signature speech, I mean like one really well, carefully crafted message that intentionally overcomes objections in advance, that educates people closer to sell, that's able to indirectly, like you can sell without being salesy, but you're actually building an interest in your back end programs. And they don't really have that. They just teach on all this science and how to and this educational content, and people's minds are like, oh yeah, that's interesting, but they're not really moved to actually open up their wallets to pay them. And because
Right.
of that, they're getting on this like hamster wheel of whether it's speaking or not speaking. I mean, health professionals who speak have a complete advantage over health professionals that don't speak, because you really tap into this one-to-many opportunity. Instead of just the one-on-one, you're able to get your message to multitudes. And also you get better quality clients because they're more educated. You're able to share your story, your experience, your knowledge. You're able to connect with them more when you have a really well-crafted signature speech. And so by the time that you get on a call to discuss payments or working with you or moving forward, they're already pre-sold. They already like your stories, your background, your personality, and they're far more ready to accept your offers or work with you. They're like, you are the mentor that I want to work with. So that makes a big difference.
Okay. Wow. So it's a quite a bit of people out here that's doing what you do. What sets you apart?
Well, for me, I actually don't see a lot of people who are helping holistic health educators to monetize their knowledge online. One of the things that's unique about me too is I teach business based on biblical principles. One,
Okay.
everything I learned in marketing and business, I either learned from the Bible or I trace through the scriptures. And if it's not fit there, then I don't teach it. You know, there's a lot of
Oh, okay.
people, yeah, when you learn business or marketing, there's like two extremes. On one side, you have like a lot of people, if there's any spirituality at all, they're telling you to like pray to the universe or maybe talk to, or just like there's more new age kind of spiritual business leaders. And like I had a client who told me that she paid big money to a coach. And then she went over to this event, and she's like, "You want to know where I get some of the best business ideas? Here, let me pull back the secret. Let me tell you the secrets." So what I do is I gather together and I do a séance, and I get these ideas through
Oh no.
séances. And I know that was the same face that she made.
Oh
She's
my
like,
God.
"I did not just pay big money to have this coach being teaching me from séances." And so I realized that, hey, some people want to get their business
That's a new
advice
one
from
for
there.
me.
Yeah, it's not for me and it's not for you because you're out here casting a net and I see
Right.
like you're this some people like they respond well with that. And so people choose me a lot of times when they have gone to these big name coaches and they've just been lost in the sea. I mean the
And it
personal
happens
touch.
so much.
Right, tell me about it. So, I mean, one guy he invested. It was tens of thousands of dollars, and a week and a half went by, no response from like a support asking a question. He's like, this isn't working. So you're just a number to a lot of these big name coaching programs. It's just hard. Like even if they genuinely care about you, they just don't have the capacity to support you. So we work more closely together with our clients. I get to know
Okay.
their business and actually hear like what are they going through, what is their business, and my team and I, we're always thinking about what are ways that we can make our clients' lives easier and solve problems for them that they don't even think of in advance, but we've got frameworks and a proven system to help them. And it's not just stuff that I read out of a book, it's things that I've learned in the trenches of growing our family business from zero to multiple six figures, generating over half a
That's
million
awesome.
dollars in profit. And so applying those principles and then sharing it in a way that our health educators can actually grasp and understand, people really value that with our shared perspective.
Wow. And so you have a team. That's even better. Is that you have a team, you're not working by yourself.
Yeah, it's huge. I really believe that entrepreneurship wasn't designed to be solopreneurs. There's a lot of glamorizing soloprenneurship, but I don't
Mhm.
see how that really makes sense because an entrepreneur is more of an organizing force, of a gathering force of talent, of vision, of direction, and that's why like I don't believe there's such thing as a self-made success, only team-made success. Show me a
That's true.
successful person, and I'll show you a successful team. There's team of advisors, I believe mentors form part of our teams that we either pay or we work with, or there are like sometimes it's freelancers or working. Um, like I have a team that helps me with designing some of my slides. I'm not much of a graphical person, so I outsource that.
I do
Websites,
too.
that's not
I
something.
outsource some of my stuff too.
Oh yeah, exactly. So you know the benefit of doing that because we want to, as entrepreneurs, we want to free ourselves up to do only those things that we can do and delegate the rest. And that's where we're able to stay in our zone of genius and where we're able to work in that area the most. We can show up and serve our clients at a much higher level than when we're constantly distracted by administration or technical stuff or all these things in the weeds.
Now, you when a client comes to you with because I'm sure you do come across them a lot where they don't pay tens and thousands of dollars to someone. How do you get them to trust you?
I believe one of the most powerful tools for building trust is having a signature speech that is able to tell a story that resonates because people like those who are like themselves. And as a speaker, we want to share in a way that we're ordinary enough that they can relate to us. And they're like, wow, I've been there. I've gone through that. I've experienced that. So by telling their story in the first person, sharing my story that I know that they've experienced, and like even for when I share about how I had a heart attack when I was 12 because there was a man with a message. He learned how to monetize his knowledge, package it, and sold it to my mother that I'm alive. Like people hear that and they're like,
Wow.
"Oh
Yeah,
wow,
that's
I could
true.
relate to that." And there's mission behind that. And I believe that it's powerful to have an inventory of signature stories. You see, Like Time Magazine said Jesus was the most influential man in human history. Like Time Magazine identified him. And you think we can learn a thing or two about trust or
Right.
building a community through the most influential man? And one thing he said in Matthew 13:34 is that
Hmm.
when speaking to the multitude, the public, he said, without a
Hmm.
parable spake he nothing. And so
Mm.
through having a pouch of persuasive parables that you're able to share, that any principle you package in a parable, you surround your statements and stories. So like before I would just teach concepts and people are like, okay, cool. But then when I could share what my experience was like before knowing that, the suffering, the hard, the challenge that I faced
Right.
beforehand, now people connect. Now people see a reason why to listen, and it's a lot more relatable. And I believe that when we're ordinary enough that people can see, they're like, oh, I relate to that. I'm interested in that. Then, or they're like, hey, I've gone through that experience. They say, me too. You don't want them saying, so what? Like, who cares? But
Right.
that builds trust, but not just ordinary where it's like, hey, I'm like my relationships are falling apart, just like maybe yours are. I'm struggling and going bankrupt and it's like my health is failing too. And then it's like you can't just leave it there. You have to also be extraordinary enough or done something interesting enough that they want to know more about it or they find
Right.
that you have something that you can share. And like Dr. Kendra Lee mentioned when she first heard me speak, she's like, who is this young man going to tell me about health marketing? He looks like he could be my son's age. But then when I start sharing with her some of the marketing principles, she's like, this makes sense. I like this. I want a book. This is so powerful. She's like, he knows something that I don't know, and that's how to get clients. And so like
Right.
I'm not the most knowledgeable in crypto. I don't know a lot about stocks and exchange or real estate, but there's one thing that I understand really well is how to get a health message to people who want to pay. And that's something that I'm really good at. And then being able to help holistic health educators to package their knowledge and bring the right people. Like that's something I know well. And so
Okay.
people pick up on that. And that's why it tends to build trust.
Wow. And so with, to the audience, what what are some of the tips that you can give them when it comes to what you do?
One thing that I would say is um, it's really powerful to be able um, to sit down and think about what are the core principles that you want to share with the world. And instead of just being scattered on all sorts of things, trying to be all things to everybody, see what in your experience can uniquely fit you to serve the right group of people and really understand that there's only a handful of there's universal human experiences that we go through. And as we can relate on these points, universal experiences
Mhm.
like loss, grief, maybe losing a son, losing a job, losing a uh, health, or whatever that experience is. There's experiences of like there's questions, underlying questions that everybody has is like, why should I listen to you? Like, what makes you credible? Like, who are you to talk about this topic? And by being able
Right.
to address these concerns in advance, where you can actually, like Stephen Covey says, um, highly effective people begin with the end in mind. Enoch Leffingwell says that highly effective speakers begin with the back end in mind. Think about what is your back end offer?
Hmm.
What do you want to present at the end? And then think about, okay, how could I reverse engineer this speech, what I'm going to share, in a way that it's going to address the concerns in advance so that by the time they see the offer, they don't have 1,000 questions. They've already been addressed in your message, in your signature speech. If you can craft your message in that way, it makes a huge difference that a lot of people are not intentionally sharing stories that specifically address these like concerns that people have. The way I like to look at it is there's a buying objection, then think of it like a target. Your story, you have like a quiver of stories, and you're like, oh, there's objection, got a story for that. If there's an objection here, got a story for that. And then it becomes a lot more easier to address them. And as you're going through and you're telling a story, it feels like content, and it is. But it's content that converts and it changes people's lives. And this is really where a lot of that, the power, the influence, the difference is made, is by teaching people how to think differently, not just focusing on what to do, what to eat, when to eat it, how to do it, but
Right.
teaching them how to change the way they view themselves, change the way they view their situations, and the beliefs that they have about health or about your topic. That helps them become the person who can say yes to the advice that you give or the offer that you make, whatever it is, whatever this goal of your message is.
Wow. I love it. I love what you're doing. I love what you're saying, because I know, as a coach myself, I know that it is a need. It's a need to learn this information, because it's really so you can influence more people, so you can help more people. Transformation is what you're looking for. And so, you know, thank you so much, Enoch, for coming on my show and embracing us with your wisdom. I will put the links in the video as well, but tell the audience how to reach you.
Yeah, well, one of the best ways that you can reach me is on Facebook. I respond really well on there. Also, if you'd like to grab a copy of my book on high ticket health coaching, you can go to highincomehealthexpert.com, and you can grab a copy there. Every month, I do a challenge where we can get on Zoom. You can ask me all sorts of questions about your business, and I'll share with you how to package and put together a signature speech. And when you upgrade to the VIP, it's only $49. You'll get a copy of my book too. But you can get on there for 4 sessions. You can ask me any questions about your business. And we like to roll out the red carpet for these challenges. It's not a massive challenge with loads of people where you just get lost in the sea, but well, you actually have time to ask questions. I'll dig into your business and provide you some solutions and insights that it's going to be. My goal is that if you show up with your cameras on, you come for the full 5 days, and at the end of those 5 days, you feel that you didn't get 10 times the investment that you have, I will gladly reimburse you the $49. But in there, there's a lot that we can go. I'd love to meet you guys. And if you want to grab a copy of my book, you can. And I'd love to speak. Follow me on Facebook. Let's connect. And I love people. I love meeting new people. And I really believe that the world's going to be a better place if there's a lot of darkness, misinformation out there, and by helping you get your message out to the people that you're called to serve, that the world will be better because you chose to speak up.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And to the audience, if you are looking to, especially coaches, especially any entrepreneurs that's looking to get their business to the next level and learn how to tell the story, reach out to Enoch. He can really be a great resource. And if you find that this was helpful, please do shares, and don't forget to subscribe, because I have amazing people on my show and I do it for you. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom. And
thank you, Coach Rice. It's been a blessing.
Yes, and I love it. I can't wait to hear more about it. And thank you so much, and have a happy Monday.
It's your time to shine. Your journey to chart. Coach Rice wisdom will heal every heart. So join us now. Let's make life suffice. Welcome to Mondays with Coach Rice.